welcome to part 7, the final installment of this 7-part video series on troubleshooting stuck malolactic fermentations. In this video, we will be discussing the impact of pesticide residues on MLF. Join us as enologist and senior application scientist Duncan Hand from Hansen sheds light on the challenges posed by pesticide residues.
Hello, and thank you for joining our short video on stuck malolactic fermentation due to pesticide residues. So what's the problem around pesticide residues? Well, the pesticides used in viticulture can sometimes be found in wine, and these residues can actually inhibit malolactic fermentation. So to look at it in more detail, it's usually fungicides and insecticides commonly used when growing wine grapes. They can be present when sprayed onto the grapes, but they can remain present once the grapes are crushed and the juice is processed and the wine is fermented, through to when you're at the stage of malolactic fermentation where there's still a residue. Now, these compounds do vary in their toxicity, but some of them are certainly toxic to wine bacteria, and if they're present at a high enough concentration, will reduce the population that's been inoculated, thereby causing MLF to stick. So how is the problem best diagnosed? Well, it's not an easy thing to test. However, there are specialist wine laboratories which can test for pesticide residues. So if possible, if there's a suspected wine sample, it's worth sending it off for testing. If it's not very feasible or practical to test, you can, by process of elimination, go through many other inhibitory factors such as fatty acids and phenolics, and make sure they're not the problem. And then once you've done that, you can arrive at pesticides potentially being the cause of a given wine having stuck MLF. So how are pesticide residues best treated? Well, long term, the best approach is for winemakers and viticulturists to be in contact, and for winemakers to urge viticulturists to respect both the dosage levels used in the vineyard of pesticides and also to respect the withholding periods when spraying before then picking the fruit. If, however, there's a given wine that has a problem with pesticide residues, the scientific literature would suggest that fining with active carbon is the best option that exists right now, and that will remove around 50% of a residue depending on the compound. That could thereby then allow, with reinoculation, MLF bacteria to implant and to finish the job. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.